Hey, good morning, guys. This is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching doing the review of the key trade levels from yesterday on CL, ES, and NQ. Just a quick note, past performance is not indicative of future results. This is for educational purposes only. And let's get to work. So these are the levels that we use to kind of guide how we're trading and where we're trading to make money, right? We use them consistently, and they help us over on the algo side where we're using these trades to figure out how we want to trade, right? Exactly pinpoint our entry with accuracy plus a given level, right? So let's start off with CL since I have it right here in front of me, and we'll just go from there and we'll knock it out. Okay, so for those who aren't familiar, the green lines are prior days highs and lows, right? So just to step you through real quick, it's the same on all the charts. The green line is a prior U.S. session high, prior U.S. session low. The blue dash line is prior day's points of control. Hold on one second here. Let's do this real quick because I have extra lines drawn on here. There we go. So let's do it again. Prior high, prior day's low, prior day's point of control, value area. The orange line's a prior day's low that's more than 24 hours old. And we have a saying in the room, break the low, find the dough, right? And that applies for the high as well. So you'll see we started off the day, and when we started off the session, there was actually a Globex high that was sitting up about right here. We didn't hit it, right? So we opened up above the prior day's high. They pushed. Those are early buyers trying to get a continuation on trend up, and they rolled it all the way down and firmly closed underneath prior day's low, right? We then backside tested. The only reason I do this is so that people understand how the function of the market is operating, right? Where is the buyers and sellers coming in from a larger picture? So guys, you can tie the larger picture into the smaller picture, right? Backside test a prior day's high. Remember, inside value area is a hard place to trade. Sometimes the prior day's point of control holds, sometimes it's breaks. That's why we don't trade there. All the way through the value area, right? Down to 74.64, where we get underneath a prior day's low, right? Break the low, find the dough. We get a reversal from there. Where does it go? It's going to eventually make an attempt back to the prior day's point of control. And then it kind of goes on its weaving little way, does a 50-60 retrace here, and eventually finds its way back up. The key there was recognizing that once you get underneath a 24-hour low, now I want to show you this, right? Once you get underneath the low, right? So we're looking underneath 74.64. So if we come over here, and I believe this is it, nope. And I grab my CL chart. There we go. Erase the lines. So that's a 24-hour chart. Let's back it up a little bit. So here's 74.64, which was the key prior day's low, right? And now you can see, what do we want to accomplish, guys, in order to look for the long? And again, this is where we look at location versus setup, right? So here's our wave to the low, right? So we know once we get above this, we have buyers trapped, right? We're going to call this our orthodox close to the high. I drew it a little bit higher, but it is the orthodox close to the high, right? Now we're looking for the algos to fire us in. And you're going to have to walk a little bit of a line here to figure out where the trade comes in, but orthodox close above, buyer's trap, pushes back in, potential trade number one for the long right there, right? Not the highest odds. Actually, the highest odds trades are going to come in right here where the volume bar pushes speed bar, right? Then we push back down again. You're going to see this last little two bar combo right off the edge. See that right there? With those two bars. Either that or the second bar to the last has the highest volume. The algo tags these two bars for the long. And you can see this one was in particular was important, right? And off it fires. Again, we're not looking for shorts at this point. You've closed above the wave to the low, and that eventually gave you the push back out to be able to grab that 75.25, right? And then you can see we started that whole process again over in Asia. I'm not going to go through the algo in detail right now because I have to go wake up my twins. It's 5:30 in the morning, and so I'm just going to jump on. But that's basically what we're looking for. And you can see each of the algos. Remember, we're just here to grab the money. We're not here to make judgments on the market, where it's moving up or down, find reasons why it's moving up or down, just to follow the process, right? So let's go and look at the NQ really quick. Actually, let's look at ES, and then we'll move on to NQ. So again, it's already on the day time frame. So a couple of things you need to recognize in ES, right? Number one, we gapped out of range, right? It's really important you know, like you'll hear me say, guys, in the room all the time, right? We're gapping down inside prior day's range. They're probably going to buy it up. This was key. Roderick, that's what you missed yesterday. We gapped out of range, right? We gapped out of the prior day's range, and we gapped down below. So we had, this is an inside day. So Tuesday, excuse me, Monday was inside Friday, which was inside Thursday. 3 days they were lined up. Give me a second. Hey, I'll be right there. Good morning.
Okay, but I need you to go to the gate and find the bunny snacks.
They're already in the kitchen.
Huh?
I've already got them. They're in the kitchen.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
I'll be back in the house in a minute. Love you. Bye.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry about that, guys. Obviously, the twins beat me to the punch. So we gap out of range, right? We blow up this support level, right? Promise you there'll be sellers there the first time back when we get back in there. People try to buy it. You can see they try to buy it, right? Down into the single prints, doesn't matter when we have a lot of velocity. Came to a prior day's low, the orange line, plus there's a support line right behind it. Responsive buy, right? So that's good for a trade. That's 43.52 to 43.70. That's almost 18 points, almost $1,000 a contract, right? Second time through, blows. We hit the next support level, right? Now remember, prior support equals resistance. Bounce, hit, come back in. Second time, bounce, hit, push down below. They try to make it below 43.31. I really wanted that. Peter, by the way, great call. Peter said he was looking for the longs at the 43.30s, and he was damn right about that. It didn't break the prior day's low. I think it did in Asia. Actually, we'll go take a look in a moment. And then it bounced. And then you can see we came back up. Resistance, right? They rejected out of it, get back up to the next resistance, reject back out of it, come back down. It got a little sloppy there. It was the end of the day, and there's a lot of news flying across the tape. Back up to resistance again, rejected one more time, then up above all the way through the single prints, and then back down. And if you tag this into the overnight session, you will see, of course, the chart hasn't been updated. It will be later this morning. I think we broke that 31 low, maybe. No, I stand incorrected. We did not, and I'm pretty sure that 43.8350 to 43.8975, when and if we get there, will provide a pretty nice resistance point. And then lastly, let's go do NQ. So NQ's thinner, right? So it gets levels get broken easier. They overshoot their levels easier. So let's see what it did, right? So the first thing we're looking at, underneath prior lows, we're looking for dough. But you got to combine that with the idea that we had open drive higher and we clearly gapped out of range. Again, there's the prior day's low, right? Value area, gap down, open drive lower. So I'm just going to mark off the levels. Small response out of the support resistance level, right? That was from the back to the front. That was actually almost 50 points if you took it from the back and you got set up. I'm not going to go look where the anomaly was there or not. That was in the first half hour. I tend not to trade there. Notice there's no support level through here. So we trade down. Underneath the prior day's low, they're trying to bounce it here, right? They eventually hook it up and get a small rotation. Again, that's a nice rotation if you can find it. Doesn't reverse it. Back below the prior day's low, reverses it, comes back up. Again, the algo should have been firing on this to some degree, but we just couldn't get any daylight within the intraday setups to get the longs set up down here. And then finally, one more temp below the low. This would have been the golden level I was looking for. When you have 3 of them stacked up, it would have been nice to get down here for the shot back where? Well, the point of control is not realistic because you gapped out of range, right? So if you look at how that played out overnight, they pretty much drove it up out of the gate. So you can see in Asia, so this would have been our close. We never could make it back to retest this low, which will be a key area now once we get underneath. There's nothing special about this line there, by the way. So we push up again, we below the low to find the dough. If we were swing traders, this would be a lot easier to set up, right? But we're day traders. We need very specific levels because of our leverage, right? Push up into 14, 19, 15, reject out of it. That's early this morning in London. And that's where we sit right now, just underneath that 14, 19, 15. And you can see if we're going to re-auction the whole thing, we're going to come back to 15,020, which is the scene of the crime from yesterday's open. And the market seems to like to do that. So that's an explanation of the levels. Quick, fast, and dirty, but that's how we do it. And I got to go wake up some twins and get some 5-year-old girls dressed. I hope you all have a wonderful day. See everyone in the room. If you'd like to visit the room, by the way, I'm sorry, here, I'll post this up. You can pause it and read it, but that is Trade and Perform at gmail.com. Just ask for a 3-day pass. I'm happy to extend it to you and come watch how we make money. Anyways, have a wonderful day, guys. I will talk to you later. See y'all soon.